We are back and set to go to start the bottom of the first, and leading off for the Regals will be Kathleen Watson-Otami. She's a junior transfer. She's the right fielder. The defense for the Panthers on the mound is K.E. Terry. Behind the plate, Michelle Pitts. And Pitts was the one that struck out on the controversial play at the end of the inning. And you said, Katie, you had some information about that?
Yeah, I think that instead of the foul ball, I don't think it was a foul ball. I think what happened is that the batter reached out over the plate and actually purposely got hit by the ball.
Trying to take one for the team, and Watson-Otami is on the bunt and will go to second on the wild throw. And now she's going to go all the way to third, so it should be potentially a hit and an error on the throw.
That was great heads-up base running. If you wait for your coach to tell you to go, you're losing time, and she just took the initiative and went herself, and that's why she was able to pick up 2 bases instead of just 1.
Great hustle, and that's what you always love to see from the leadoff hitters. And now Kayla Sakamoto, who last year was generally the leadoff hitter for the Regals, she's hitting second in the lineup today. She's the center fielder, and she can also become trouble on the base paths if she gets on. She looks at ball 1. The rest of the defense for the Panthers, Stephanie Engel at first base, Raquel Renaro at second, and Kayla Javier at short, Courtney Jones at third. That's a called strike to Sakamoto, 1 ball, 1 strike. Carrie Peterson in left field. In center, Andrina Calix, and in right field, Karina Muniz, I should say. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Sakamoto. Runner on third. Here's the 1-1. That's chopped foul down the right field, down the third base line.
Right now, Sakamoto's just trying to put the ball in play, trying to put the ball on the ground. She's got really good speed at third base, and she's just trying to get that ball on the ground to score her runner. And she might beat it out, too. I mean, she's got good legs. They might have a run scored and a base hit.
And she lines it into center. That's the left. That's a base hit, and Watson-Otami will score easily from third, and that will put the Regals on top 1-0 with nobody out in the first inning.
And that was great situational hitting. All she needed to do was just pop it over the third baseman's head, and she's got a base hit and an RBI. She definitely has some power, even though she's really pretty small.
After the rough start on the bottom of the inning for the Panthers, they're going to have an infield visit on the mound to talk things over to make sure that the troubles don't continue. As you can see, the Regals now lead 1-0. Nobody out in the first inning. Kayla Sakamoto on first, and Brittany Labby will be the hitter. She's the number 3 hitter for the Regals. She's the designated player. And now Sakamoto can be a big threat to steal at first base. And she shows bunt, pulls back, ball 1. Tried to snap throw attempt to first base, but Sakamoto gets back. 1-0.
Nice play, ladies! I mean, I would expect, probably a bunt coming here, but you never know.
2-0. She showed bunt the first time and pulled back. It was wise, as that was the ball, to pull back.
No outs, runner on first. Looks like a good time to bunt, but you never know. With your number 3 hitter, maybe she's going to pop one over somebody's head.
And she shows bunt on a 2-0, and it's bunted foul, 2-1. You'd think that she'd want to take until Terry can show she can throw strikes when you're ahead 2-0, but she was aggressive and fouled it back. And this is a good stealing count if you're Sakamoto.
It's a great stealing count.
Here's the 2-1, showing bunt again, and it's bunted foul again, and it's 2-2. And now she's going to have to swing away, you would think, with 2 strikes.
I mean, her goal right now with 2 strikes, is to get the ball on the ground and move Sakamoto over. That should be her focus right now. Get the ball on the ground.
And you want to avoid the double play as well, and that's one of the advantages of a bunt, is it significantly decreases the chances of a double play. Here's the 2-2. Outside for ball 3.
Both ways.
And the count is full. And now you would think Sakamoto would have to be running on full count.
Well, I'm not sure if she'll be running. It's 0 outs, so I don't think they want to be. They might not want to be too aggressive and get her thrown out at second base. You never know, though.
And it's a fly ball to right field. Muniz going back. It's going to be over her head. Sakamoto could score all the way from first. They're going to wave her around. Going for three is Labby. Sakamoto is safe at the plate. And that was a good throw to try and get her out, but it wasn't in time to get the speedy Sakamoto. And a RBI triple for Brittany Labby. And the Regals lead 2-0.
I mean, that's the result you want when you mess up on the first two bunts and then you wind up hitting a triple. I mean, you can't ask for a lot better than that. So that was some great hitting right there.
All three Regals hit safely to start the inning, to start the game rather. And here's Shannon Tinsley, and she hits that into center field. That will be Amanda Calix, and she can't get it. It's off the wall. Trotting home is Labby, and an RBI double for Tinsley, and that's the first four hitters for the Regals reaching base safely now. And it's 3-0.
I mean, she took that first pitch. That first pitch is tough. Some people don't like swinging at the first pitch. They get a little anxious, but she was really, she seemed ready, and she just let it rip.
Usually in the first inning you see a lot less swinging on the first pitch. You're trying to see a lot more pitches from the pitcher and trying to wear their arm out early. And looking at ball one is Sarah Lixon, the second baseman.
I mean, but if you're going to rip one like that, you know, you let it go. So that was a great job.
And here's the 1-0. That's outside, ball 2-0. Now Lixon could bunt the runner over to third as well. Coach Debbie Day and the Regals love small ball. We see a lot of that over the years from her. Did you play under here?
Yes, I did. All 4 years I played under Coach Day.
And that's going to go up the middle, right past second base for a base hit, and that'll advance Tinsley 90 feet. That went straight up the middle. There was no odd angle on that ball. And
that's all you need to do. I think that Kalaloo is making it look easy right now. Just hitting the ball on the ground, finding the gaps, and not trying to be too fancy. Playing perfect game right now.
That's exactly right, and you know they're playing perfect when the Panthers infield has their second mound visit of the inning. And I'm surprised the coach for the Panthers, Janet Lloyd, has not come out to talk to the mound about this as well, because there's still nobody out. And
well, I believe that there are some type of limits on how many times a coach can visit the mound without making some type of change. So maybe she's waiting.
They can only make one visit without making the change.
Right. So I think maybe she might be saving it for when when and if she decides to make a change.
In softball, you see a lot of pitchers go the distance regardless. It's a lot different than baseball. And Danica Green looks at called strike.
It is very different because typically baseball throwing is a lot more stressful on your arm, whereas softball, it doesn't take as much of a toll on your arm. So softball pitchers have a lot more endurance in that way.
It is. Plus the games are 2 innings shorter in softball.
Yes.
And baseball, you need like 4 good starting pitchers and a good bullpen. And softball, you just need a couple starting pitchers someone to pitch the first game and then another to pitch game 2. Danica Green hits that one up the middle for a base hit. Scoring is Tinsley. And the second goes Sarah Lixon, and it's 4-0 Regals here in the first with nobody out.
Again, I mean, you can't really say much more. They're just hitting the ball on the ground up the middle. It's the fundamentals that coaches and Coach Day preach all the time. Hit the ball on the ground, and things will happen, and they're doing a great job right now.
And now we're seeing the mound visit from the Panthers. Their coach Janet Lloyd is in her 18th season coaching the Panthers. So, and Coach Day is in her 10th. So these coaches have probably seen each other a lot over the years. Even though I know you said you didn't play Chapman back in the day.
Yeah, we didn't play Chapman when I was here. It seemed that we started playing Cal Lutheran started playing Chapman after I left, but I think they've played them fairly consistently every year since 2007.
And now they're going to make the change, and it will be Kimi Takahashi. She's just a freshman. She's from Torrance, California, West Torrance High School, and she will take over with to try and stop the bleeding here for the Panthers. And when she starts the outing, she will first face Caitlin Downing, who is hitting 7th and pitching for the Regals, and then she'll be facing Devin Hoffer, and then Rihanna Marua. Liz Mertel, the third baseman for the Regals, is not in the batting lineup. She's just a flex defensive player for the Regals.
Coach Day has always been big on pitchers hitting. Some coaches don't particularly like pitchers hitting very much, but Coach Day was one of those types of players that did it all. So she definitely believes that pitchers don't just have to pitch; they can hit too. And Cal Lutheran's always had a fairly strong pitchers who can hit. So there's no surprise that she's hitting right now.
And now Caitlin Downing, and she can do quite a lot for the Regals as well. With runners on first and second, nobody out. She's the starting pitcher for the Regals today. And she looks at a called strike, and she's behind 0-1.
You know, under a normal situation, if the score wasn't 4-0 right now, I would say that you might expect a bunt. But the way that they've been hitting this inning, Coach Day might just let them keep hitting the ball.
I would agree. You don't want to give away outs when you're not getting any. I mean, you're not going to get outs if you're hitting the ball the way you are. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike now. It'll be interesting to see the layover, this effect this will have on Downing when she comes back on the mound in the top of the second. Well,
the good thing is that now she has at least 4 runs to help her out. So any layover, at least she's got a little bit of breathing room. It might, sometimes when you have a big lead like that, it does change the way you pitch, but in a good way because you are a little more comfortable with the game.
That also helps too. But the other thing that affects batters is pitchers is when they bat in the inning. It kind of affects their focus because usually in the middle of the inning when you're not batting, she hits a fly ball into center field. And they're going to advance the runners 90 feet. That's the 7th hit of this ball game for the Regals. With nobody out, bases loaded, Devin Hoffer the batter. Because usually when you're pitching, when your team is batting, you're usually in the dugout thinking about the next inning. When you're batting, you have to think about your at bat and less about your pitching, and that might affect her. It'll be interesting though, and that's why you see a lot of pitchers not batting and the designated player batting for the pitcher and not another infielder. Hoffer hits that one to deep. Right, that is off the wall. Just missed a grand slam home run. This could clear the bases. Lixon scores. Green scores. It's a 2-run double for Devin Hoffer, and it's 6-0 Regals. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. Or with nobody out, I should say. Now it's Rihanna Marua, the shortstop, batting. That was so close from being a grand slam home run. It was off close to the top of the wall.
That's about as close as you get. There's not a lot to say more than they're just playing some great ball right now.
And they were clearly due. They've kind of been off to a slow start this season. And they split the doubleheader between Laverne yesterday, winning the second game 5-4. After dropping the first game 11-6 yesterday.
Well, there's definitely something to be said for momentum. I think that win yesterday really kind of must have sparked something in them.
Marua falls behind 0-2. This is the 9th batter to come to the plate for the Regals this inning.
They're playing very well right now. There's still a lot of game left, so they have to make sure that they keep their focus. 6 runs, coming back from 6 runs is not unheard of. So I think the challenge for them is just going to be making sure that they stay focused for the rest of the game.
And it is chopped right to Takahashi, and she gets the out at first and holds the runners where they are. And that's the first out of the inning. It's about time for the Panthers, but they still trail 6-0, and they're still in a jam, runners on second and third. And it's back to the top of the order for the Regals, who have batted around. Kathleen Watson-Otani. In the Regals' first win of the season against George Fox, they were trailing 7-1 going into the bottom of the 5th. And it was looking like it was going to be more of the same and that the troubles would continue at that point for the Regals as Watson-Otani looks at ball 1. The Regals started the inning with the top of the order. Kayla Sakamoto and and Watanotani. And the Regals ended up having 12 hitters come to the plate that inning. Both Sakamoto and Watanotani went 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored in that inning.
Yeah, that's one of the things about softball. You know, you never say never. Both teams, they're both going to be like that. Where, yeah, 6 runs, all right. You know, both of them want to add more.
If they can do it, why can't us?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, 6 runs in the first inning is great. I think it's fantastic, but there's a lot of game left. And if Cal Lutheran can come back on George Fox after that much, you know, so can Chapman. So
yes.
They just have to make sure that they keep their focus and play the game like it's a 0-0 ball game, and they'll be all right.
And the 2-1 is going to be chopped foul, and it's 2-2. In that inning, the Regals ended up in the bottom of the 5th against George Fox. They ended up scoring 8 runs in that inning and took a 9-7 lead and ended up winning that game 9-7. The other thing that really helped in that game is their pitching really settled down. Nakobe Attila, who got off to a slow start, really did outstanding after that and closed out the victory. And one of the big things about momentum, as I talked about, that's going to go in the left field, and the catch is made, and the runners hold once again. And it's second and third with 2 outs, and now it's a huge at-bat for Kayla Sakamoto. And
now batting, number 1, Kayla.
I mean, that was a hard-hit ball just right at somebody. You know, base hits earlier in the game, they were hit just that hard, but it wound up going in the gap. So that was a nice, solid contact, nothing that she should be mad about.
Exactly right. You see a lot of those in baseball and softball. And here's the pitch. Swung on into right field. That will drop for base hit. Downing scores. Here comes Hoffer. The throw home is not in time. And going to second is Sakamoto. She's going to be thrown out trying to stretch to play. But it's a 2 RBI single for Kayla Sakamoto. And the Regals will head to the top of the second, leading 8-0.